Hey guys, it is Sebastian from AskSebby, and today we are going to talk about some bank interest rates as well as some bank bonuses that you might want to know about for August of 2019. Before we dive into the video, as always, if you want to support our channel, feel free to give this video a thumbs up. Lets me know that you like content like this. One other thing too is that over on Instagram, I have mentioned a few of these deals, especially ones that are expiring a bit sooner than I have a chance to make a video. A good example of this was a US bank business one where you could get $400 for depositing $5,000. And one of the funny things too is that when I opened the account, they really emphasized that you're going to get this bonus in 45 days and that afterwards you can close the accounts. I think that was one of the first times where the bank person is pretty much telling me that, hey, just get the bonus and then worry about it afterwards. Overall win-win, and if you do want to catch those deals and not miss out on anything, as well as some flight deals that I've mentioned over there, feel free to follow us. You can get daily deal notifications. Starting off with some bank interest rates, we did see a lot of issuers cut their rates as the Fed cut their rate as well. As of right now, and these numbers can change, Ally is at 1.9%, SoFi is at 2%, Marcus by Goldman Sachs is at 2.15%, Wealthfront is at 2.32%, and Betterment is pretty interesting because their rates have been changing quite a bit, and that's a bit expected, but also kind of weird because you don't expect this many micro changes. So they opened up at 2.68 and then after the cut, dropped down to 2.44, and now they're at 2.39. 2.39 is their promotional rate, but it can change in the next week or 2 weeks. And again, it seems like they are making a lot of micro adjustments. Without the promotional rate, it's going to be 2.14, which is what it's expected to be at the end of the year. Redneck Bank is pretty interesting because it's at 2.4%, which is still kind of on top of everything. I've mentioned them a lot because they have pretty funny marketing, and for me, I think it's just interesting that they are pretty competitive with this. On top of all of these rates though, there are going to be some from other smaller banks that have higher rates. Specifically, VO Bank has 2.52 with a minimum of $100, and Popular Direct has 2.55 with a minimum of $5,000. Those two are probably going to be the top ones depending on how much capital you have and how much you're looking to put aside for a rainy day. So cool, you read off this giant list of numbers, but what does this all mean? What should I do or what should I consider? So I think it really depends on your current setup and also how much free time you have and how much you value that free time. If you do not have one of these accounts, if you have something that's even below 2%, I think it would make sense to switch to any of these options depending on which one makes the most sense for you. Interest rate obviously plays a big role, but also who you want to bank with and maybe the interface that you want to use. So I know Marcus has a pretty good one as well as a lot of the startup ones like Wealthfront's. If you already have something like Marcus, should you switch to something like Popular Direct, so 2.15 to 2.55? I think if you have a lot of capital here, then it does make sense to do the switch because it's going to add up. If you are someone who also has free time, but maybe not as much capital, I think it still makes sense because you're probably doing nothing else that makes you money during that time. If you're just sitting around anyways, it's pretty easy to open up a new account nowadays. If this was back in the past when you actually had to go drive, sit down with someone, open a bank account and do a bunch of paperwork, then obviously that's a bit different, but here it's literally 3, 4, 5 clicks and you're there. If you are someone that really values that free time though, maybe you have a new family and you have kids and stuff, and maybe you have a YouTube channel or you're just doing something else that generates you more revenue than that time that you would take to open up a new account, or maybe the headache from that account, then maybe it doesn't make sense. With a lot of this stuff, it really just depends on how you want to play it, and typically the opportunity cost for different opportunities. If you're someone who has less than maybe $1,000, I probably wouldn't stress out too much about this as long as you have something that's competitive, that's more than the 0.01 that you get from the big banks, then you're in a good spot. 2.3 versus 2.4 isn't that material at that $1,000 amounts. On that note, if you are someone who wants to see some of these interest rates and maybe you're looking to learn more about these different bank accounts, a pretty easy way to support our channel would be to go to our website. You're going to see a bunch of these different offers, such as Popular Direct, and then if you go through any of these links, it supports our channel. I will also leave a link down below in the description box if you want to go check that out and make it a bit easier. If you already have something that's competitive, just don't stress too much about it. I know some people chase rates and I don't want you guys to be too stressed. Moving on to two different bank bonuses. The first one is going to be HSBC, where there's two different offers. The first one is going to be for the Premier account, where you're going to get $750 by doing a direct deposit 3 times, so for 3 months, of $5,000 or more cumulatively. The other offer is for Advance, where you're going to get $350 for depositing $5,000 in new money and setting up direct deposit with no specific minimum setup for 3 months. I think if you're someone who has the income, if you make enough money based off your direct deposits, doing the Premier one makes a lot more sense given the similar requirements that we'll talk about soon and the fact that it's double the amount of money that you're getting from the bonus. In order to keep Premier fee-free, you're going to need $5,000 per month in direct deposits or $75,000 in capital or a mortgage with a pretty large amounts. So of the 3 of those, I think the direct deposit is going to be the lowest hanging fruit number and the easiest one to achieve. For the Advanced one, to keep it fee-free, you have pretty similar requirements that I think if you can achieve this, you might as well get the Premier offer. There's probably that subsection that falls in right in the middle where they have a lot of capital, but they don't have enough current income, but really just depends on you. One of the big benefits of HSBC Premier, if you do want to actually keep it long term, is that it's pretty good as a global account. If you're someone who has to travel for work, if you're someone doing an international rotation program or something, this works out really well because it makes opening accounts really easy. So for example, if you currently work at Google and you're in California and you want to go to Ireland for 6 months or they want to send you over there, it just makes opening accounts there and setting everything up a lot easier. They also have some credit cards that might be worth considering depending on how you want to set up your cards or whether you're just bonus hunting and you want an additional bonus. Jumping over to Wells Fargo, there is a $400 offer that you can get by doing 3 monthly direct deposits of $3,000 per month. This can be cumulative, so it's not $3,000 per direct deposit. So if you get paid every 2 weeks, that's going to be fine for a lot of people. I'd recommend reading through the rest of the terms, but most of it is pretty straightforward, especially if you are someone who goes after bank account bonuses. The big major one is going to be that 12-month clause. I'll put links to the offers as well as some additional terms that you might want to be aware of in the blog post down below, which is going to be in the description box. Hopefully that was helpful, and let me know if you guys have any questions. My question for you guys is, what are your thoughts on these bank account interest rates, given that we've seen quite a bit of change from some specific banks, as well as some of the online ones, and then which one of these would you open if you had to open something new? I feel like every month I'm ironically considering opening up a Redneck bank account because it seems to always be on the top of the list. Over on the bank bonus side, what do you think about these 2 bonuses? And also, kind of a random one, have you watched the Netflix documentary on HSBC? Let me and the community know down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, it really helps us out. If you know anyone else who benefit from what we just talked about, feel free to share the video with them. It'll probably help them out, but otherwise hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time.